Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for another installment of Balls Deep, where, as always, we get balls deep in the movies. My name is Peter.
I'm Brian.
And tonight we get balls deep into Melissa McCarthy. Into her new movie, Spy. This movie is a comedy, obviously. A little bit of action, a little bit of drama, a little bit of romance. Absolutely hilarious, hysterical film.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was pretty fun. But, in this, she's a CIA agent. She helps out the big James Bond-esque CIA agent played by Jude Law. And kind of stays at the headquarters, helps him, accomplish his mission.
She's the field agent's eye in the sky.
Yes.
She's the one doing all the computer work, calling in tactical strikes if need be, calling in for evac and all that kind of stuff. Keeping an eye over him, watching the maps and showing him or telling him where bad guys are about to pop out or where they're hiding.
Yeah, which, man, that's really nice to have.
Yeah.
I don't think James Bond has that same luxury.
No, definitely
knowing
not.
exactly where everybody is at any given moment in the area that you're in.
Having somebody speaking into your ear. They're about
like,
to
hey,
come around the corner.
there's
right
somebody
now.
around that
Boom,
corner.
Boom, boom. There's three guys coming in from the back. Pop, pop, pop.
But, and then, as you know, obviously things are going to go wrong, and Melissa McCarthy is going to be the only one that they have left who can go into the field and try to stop a nuclear bomb from getting into the wrong hands.
But, all things considered, even though in some aspects the script was cookie cutter.
The plot, yeah.
And kind of predictable at times, they still pulled it off pretty darn well. If you've ever seen a Melissa McCarthy movie, they kind of go along in that sense. Not all of her movies, mind you, but she kind of goes unseen, looking for attention, and then all of a sudden, boom, she becomes badass about halfway through the movie and just almost unstoppable. And that's what I loved about what I love about her is that she's got that humor, that wit, that just spontaneity with all of her characters, and it's just, oh man, fucking love her. She's awesome.
Yeah, it's like plot really isn't. It's kind of just more of like the skeleton to put all of the comedy meat on top of.
What I love about McCarthy and her films is that even though, like, as a scriptwriter, as a producer, as an actor, I do find myself constantly picking apart movies as I'm watching them. This doesn't work there, that doesn't work here, they should have done this is predictable, things like that. With her movies, I get so sucked into her character, I get so sucked into her snarky attitude and her sarcasm that I forget what I'm doing, and I just enjoy the hell out of watching her. I will probably get this movie on Blu-ray or download it and watch it a couple more times just so I can really fully appreciate the film aspect of it. But as far as a fun ride, oh god, love her.
I was a little surprised because I certainly felt that the second half was better than the first half.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. Did you notice how
I
about
was kind
45 minutes into the movie, all of a sudden it switched and it became a really good movie?
Yeah, the first 40 minutes are they're funny, but I was just kind of like,
when's the movie going to start?
Like, I don't, it's like as soon as she gets onto that airplane with Roseburn, who's in this as well.
Yes.
As soon as she gets on that,
yes.
And she, what was the name she made up?
Amber
Valentine.
Amber Valentine.
Was it Amber Valentine? But as soon as she
kind of porn star.
Yeah. As soon as she's on the plane and she kind of gets that new identity, Amber Valentine, and she becomes that new smart ass, just fucking brutal
witty,
character.
Yeah. Oh,
like that's when the movie really for me started and became very, very much more enjoyable.
The movie that she did with Sandra Bullock, The Heat, that character that she did when she was like intense and like beating the crap out of all the criminals and whatnot, that was like the McCarthy for the entire second half of this movie. I mean, bits and pieces of her, she went to like her timid, mild self, but when she was in her character, she was like badass, just knocking people's heads off and just, loved it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by how much more I started to enjoy the movie once she picked up that persona and went from there. So yeah, I would say if you are going to watch this, you got to give it at least 45 minutes.
About that.
And then it really kicks off, and it's really worth
when she gets onto the plane. That's when the true ride for this movie takes off.
Yeah, you got a great supporting cast. Rose Byrne is in this as the villain, who I absolutely love her. She oozes so much like elegance and just suaveness, and she always just does these raunchy ass comedies.
Oh god!
And she's so perfect in them too, which I think is what makes it so funny. Is that it's always such like a fish out of water, it seems, movie for her, for kind of the aura that she gives off, but she's always so well in it. Mm-hmm. Like if you think Neighbors or Get Him to the Greek.
Oh god.
You got Jason Statham also, who's kind of going back to his kind of Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels kind of comedy type stuff. That kind of really was what got him started before he blew up into this huge action star.
I loved Jason Statham in this movie because he wasn't the suave guy that we've come to know him as, like in The Italian Job, where he's just Mr. Smooth, getting the ladies left and right. His character,
he was so funny.
His character in this movie,
I never knew what the fuck he was doing. It's like
every turn, it was just like over the top. Like
he was just showing up randomly, always in like different clothing, and like the end where he's in like pajamas, and it's like
so ridiculous. Like where'd you get that suit? Oh, I made it. He's so over the top. Like they basically said.
They're like making fun of his filmography, it seems.
Oh, like
I'm pretty sure there were a few Crank references in there when he's talking about the things that he's done.
Oh yeah. No, there totally is. Like I love Jason Statham and Crank and Crank 2 are definitely in my repertoire. Love those movies, but it's just like every turn it's just like when he's sitting there talking to McCarthy's character, he's like, I did this and I did something this absurd and this crazy, and this arm was completely detached and then I put it back on with this hand. I don't think that's possible, medically speaking. And it's just, I mean, he's so over the top. They told him pull a Ben Stiller and do this movie, and so he just obviously overacted everything.
And overall, I mean, there's not really too much to get in depth on. I
think this was a really well done movie. A lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any complaints about this movie.
Not too much to say. First 40 minutes, it takes a little to find its footing. After that, you have a really fun, solid second half that really doesn't feel like it drags at all. McCarthy is awesome as always. I mean, basic story, kind of one of these. We got to stop the nukes from getting into the wrong hands. But really, I mean, the story is just kind of what they need to just let the actors and the characters just kind of do their thing.
Yeah, I feel that for a lot of the scenes, the actors had a lot of free range with what they got to do and what they got to say. I mean, you put that cast together, and you gotta just let them play. You just gotta let them have fun. I won't tell you what is said or what happens at the very end, but you need to stay to the end of the credits.
Yes.
It's small, it's very short, but it was worth the wait.
It's actually one of the funniest lines in the movie. Yeah. If you're a fan of good kind of raunchy comedies.
Yeah.
If you enjoy Melissa McCarthy, if you want a good comedy with some more action thrown in there, then I think we both recommend it. This is a pretty solid one to do.
I think it had a little bit of everything, and it was just enough of everything, not too much of any one particular thing. It had a little bit of romance, had a little bit of comedy, or a lot of comedy, a little bit of drama, a little bit of action, but everything melded well together, I think.
Yep.
So definitely recommend this.
Cool. Yeah, so I think that's it.
All right. Well, the next movie that we're going to go see will probably be Insidious 3.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. So, stay tuned.